think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.
Everyone, good morning, or good afternoon. I'm actually filming in the morning. I'm playing around with some pre-recorded. So welcome into Sandra P's Gen Extra. I am live in the chat as I strive to be when I am pre-recorded. And then during a live, of course, you know I can greet you as you come in. That is for subscribers. If you are new to the video, come in, click the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. And if you're team replay, I appreciate you as well. You have an additional feature called the hype. So you can hype the video up. That helps keep the channel in the algorithm and it helps grow a smaller content creator. And I appreciate you so much for that. So welcome into Sandra P's Gen Extra. And just to give a little bit about my channel, I'm a travel enthusiast. I have positive energy. Most of the time I have my silly side, but I will listen to your point of view. I like to say polite contrarians are welcome. Differences of opinions are welcome as long as they're expressed respectfully. And the main interest I will showcase on this channel will be pop culture, reality TV, travel, and politics. So we are with Heart and Hustle. We are season 2, episode 2, Lines in the Sand. This is a bit of a recap, a bit of opinion, and a bit of a rant at times when necessary. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, Josh still sitting up here lying. Labrina and Will still sitting up here taking it all in. And I understand that there are his side, her side, and the truth. But I stand on the fact that I don't appreciate Labrina giving Josh, who is on the way to being involved in a messy divorce, with her so-called friend Elena. And she refers to Elena as part of a friend group, as part of a sisterhood, as a friend, and pretending that she wants to just help Josh express his side. I don't buy it, Labrina. What I've seen from you, I don't like it at all. And I think it's low down. And I'll be excited to see Elena address her on that. So Labrina's still saying, basically, you weren't the only person that cheated. So we get a confessional where Labrina is letting us know why she is allowing Josh to do this. I still don't get it, but we'll allow it. So she is saying, I'm not taking any sides. Labrina is one of those people, she feels like if she says something with enough oomph behind it that you have to believe it. I'm not taking anybody's side, but he has a right to give his side as well. Nobody said he doesn't, but does he have to give it here on her platform? That's my main problem with it. Will, if he is a friend to Josh, which I actually don't believe that. These two men, I believe, met during the show. I don't think that they know each other. This is something that Labrina has cooked up. She's done most of the talking, and I just don't like where it's going. So last year, as we know, they were in separate bedrooms. Labrina knew that Elena was begging this man to go to therapy, and they have been together since high school. I don't want to call Labrina out too much yet, but I'm still a little bit surprised and kind of disgusted by her behavior. So Josh is saying, she had my phone password. I didn't go nowhere. And then they want to nail down a time frame. So Elena was saying that, of course, not Elena, I'm sorry, Labrina, there's secrets that she might have had that you didn't know and secrets that you had that she didn't know. Of course, just like in you and Will's marriage, except there's probably not secrets because she let us know last season that she has to probably let Will do almost any and everything just to keep him. So I'm just surprised to see a woman who says she is for women and a girl's girl do this to a so-called friend and so-called sister. But she's doing it. Josh sitting here and she's saying she's not team anybody. I feel like she's taking Josh's side, but she's saying she's not team anybody. I'd like to know why she's doing this. I need to know more about what happened behind the scenes. We get a confessional from her in the pretty red dress. She says, at the end of the day, they couldn't work it out and it's just unfortunate. And she tries to look sad. But I think during the whole Josh conversation, she looked really interested. She sometimes looked satisfied at his answers. And if he didn't put enough out there, she would make sure it got out there. She was the first one to mention cheating. So you're saying that you're not the only one that cheated. and just opens the door for Josh to say things like he couldn't unsee things and all this sort of thing. This scene, it just made my skin crawl a little bit. So we'll go to the beautiful Elena in her glow up season. I'm so proud of her. We are at Color du Jour, and she has a client, a high profile client. So the client's walking in the door, and the studio is beautiful. Her client is Ashley Peterson. She's married to Adrian Peterson. And a friend said, oh, the body's bodying in that bodysuit. And then Elena starts prancing around. I love this new Elena. She's smiling. Last season, she was in tears, on the verge of tears most of the time. So I love this. And I think it's cute that these two ladies show up both in brown. They almost have on similar outfits. So Ashley, of course, is a little doll. She starts complimenting Elena. They compliment each other. They start laughing and talking. And her friend tells her, you're so much lighter. You're just enjoying life. And Elena saying, yes, I am. We get a confessional. Elena said, I enjoy hanging with my girls. I have no time for extra drama. This will explain later why we don't see her in some of the Heart and Hustle scenes. I can't say I blame her. I want to see more Elena. But if Labrina is bringing what she's bringing, and it looks like she is, it looks like the only person that would have space to say something to her, Munira, is intent on being a sidekick. Let's hope she's not a lapdog. Let's hope she grows her backbone. I think she can do it. I don't like the road Labrina's going down, but we'll get back to Elena. The friend is telling her she deserves this. Josh had this woman last season where she couldn't even talk without tears. And now we're in her Color du Jour lounge, and it's beautiful. Elena is in a confessional saying she couldn't forgive the girl in the mirror. She felt like she caused her own pain. And I can understand that, because you were very young when you picked Josh, but you still picked him and defended him until she couldn't defend him anymore. And now the first time he has a chance to throw her under the bus, that is exactly what he does. So she's saying that she'd always put everything before herself. She always had to have everything together. And we noticed that last season, how she tried to be perfect. And we could tell she was doing that, and it was eating her up. And she says it is just such a relief to not have to do that anymore, because she was walking around almost in tears. And I think Josh was a big part of that. I hope we don't see too much of him this season. I've seen more than enough of him already, thanks to Labrina. So Elena's saying that she's not going to do that going forward. She's there for her children. She's there for her friends. I think if Josh really wants to be friends with Will, go to that ranch and ride horses. Don't get on camera and start talking about your soon-to-be ex-wife, because she doesn't do that to him. She hasn't done it to date. Last season, it had to be pulled out of her, and the speculation was there as to what he did. So I don't like what Labrina did, and it probably come up a few more times because I'm so shocked. So this season, she's not going to sit up there and beg Josh when he's in a separate room, beg him to go to therapy when he wanted to go to solo therapy and she wanted couples therapy. So I hope everybody always remembers where Josh stood. So we get Labrina and Munira. They are meeting at the beautiful Escape Studio. This is Labrina's kind of yoga wellness center. And she comes in, I don't know what to do. She's wearing one of those aloe shirts. Are they sending those out to influencers? Because we saw those, Kelly and Shamia over on Real Houses of Atlanta pretended that they just woke up and chose the same navy blue aloe outfit. So she has one of these on. She said, I just don't know what to do. I got to talk to Munira about it. But Labrina, to me, seemed kind of excited to talk about what's going on. And she says, there's 3 sides. She tells us again, his side, her side, and Munira finishes, and the truth. And she says, what's going on? Do I need to lay down for this? And her friend tells her, Elena was the one who actually cheated. Munira's like, wow. So we're in the confessional scene now, and she is saying, I'm at a loss for words. Munira said, I think they just got married too young. A lot of time has passed. Things have happened. I don't think any of these things are recent, probably a long time ago. I don't know, Munira. You were sitting there when the lady was crying to you. The finances and stuff, that was COVID and after. That was pretty recent. So I don't know what these two are doing. But we're back in the class. They're sitting on the mat. It's not a class, and they're not doing any yoga. They're just sitting there gossiping about Elena and Josh's business, which Josh has told to Labrina. And so Elena told us last year that they were not in dire financial straits at the time, and I believe her. Things had kind of shut down. We remember that in 2020. She didn't have makeup coming in, but then again, those expenses and fees toward a business, they weren't going out either. So Josh and his day trading, that's something that he wanted to do because maybe he felt inadequate and insecure. And he blamed that on Elena, but that, to me, that's not Elena's fault. So I think Labrina and Munira are actually acting to let this man come on TV and smear Elena. I think both of them are lying. I think it's a really stupid track to take if you claim you want to be part of a sisterhood. And they're in this beautiful spot. They're not talking about wellness. They're not talking about yoga. They're not even talking about what they're wearing and how comfortable it is. Munira, as an influencer, you could have done a lot better with this scene. You're going to use your time, and we barely see Munira, to be a sidekick and to help smear another woman about her marriage. Elena knows what went on in her marriage. Josh has reason to lie, and I think he is lying. I feel like this is such nasty work. Let's see what comes out about Labrina and Will and see if they like it. So Labrina she's telling all the business, and I don't think she's going to like how she looks in this. I hope they get a reunion so we can hear more about this. So they're going on and on with this conversation. And let's see where my notes are. Next, we have Latoria and Ro. Latoria and Ro go out for a walk. They meet each other in the park, and Ro's looking good. Ro gets a confessional. She tells us that after last season, what she wanted to do was just get her body together. She did that, got her little nip tuck. It looks amazing. She's not done anything too drastic, just kind of pinched in her waist a little bit, which is amazing. So they come toward each other, compliment each other. I love the way these two greet each other. It's so friendly and so sweet. And she says she don't want to spend all that money and then get fat. So she tries to keep herself up. And her body is snatched. Her waist is snatched. She looks really good. And you ladies that are looking at that, this is not any type fix a flat or any of that. She already had all that body. She just nipped in the stomach. So luckily, and hopefully people are not still doing that other stuff that they were trying to do. She said she changed so much internally, it's time for her to just do what she wants. So she went ahead and got that done. And her body is still her body. So she looks great. Latoria tells her she looks great. And she said, you look great too. Latoria is cornbread fed as well. She's looking good. So she's out there. She's trying to move. And y'all, this is not Ozempic. This is just getting out there and trying to move because their faces are still pretty. Now, Latoria has some severe eye makeup on to work out in. So I thought that was pretty funny. But she's trying new things. I think it's cute. They compliment each other again. They walk a little bit and then they sit down to start talking. So they really want to kind of debrief on what happened the night before. Everybody was gorgeous. And they compliment, all the ladies came in. Everything was going to be fine. And we find out that Latoria says that what Chloe told her about the door code kind of upset her. And all that stuff that Chloe was saying about Jordan kind of upset her. Now, we do know that Latoria ends up meeting with Jordan. So that kind of upset me. Latoria, please don't do that anymore. And then we get Ro saying that, yeah, that door code was crazy. She agreed the door code was crazy. And it was. To me, Jordan is not for Chloe. Big Fine Jordan is a maintenance man, if that. I don't like his temper. I've seen flashes of it. I hope Chloe throws him back into the dating pool that he belongs in. I don't think he's in Chloe's league. I just don't see it. And the fact that she has a son close to his age, we may have met Nico as quiet, but let's not think that someone this young man's age is going to take disrespect to his mother. And Jordan has an attitude of he feels like he can tell Chloe what to do with Nico. That can end up really bad. And we don't want to see it. So I hope by the end of this season, she's not even with Jordan, but I think she's still with them. So Latoria is saying, why would I pay Miss Sylvia about an hour to attack Labrina? And I don't think that she did either. What is in question is that Labrina came to this therapy session. One of the ladies, I think Latoria, brought up, they're not in my league. And Labrina is trying to gaslight them into that being a good thing. That's not what I meant, that they're not in my league. I meant that they're not in my league peace-wise. And I'm glad that I gave them a chance because I didn't think they were in my league on a peace level. I've never heard anybody use not in my league in that way, in a positive way. So Labrina feels like she's smarter than everybody and she can just gaslight you and lie in your face. I think mainly, I'll tell you what the problem is. I think she felt like she's got the most property, the husband, they have the most money between the two of them, and she felt like she's going to be the leader of the group, but she's not the leader of the group. That doesn't just make you a leader. A leader leads, and then they can all come together, sisterhood, but that's not what Labrina did for me. So she's not a girl's girl, and she's putting everything that she is on Latoria. We're going to see her later call her two-faced and a liar and all this kind of stuff. I feel that about Labrina, and I think Labrina is actually showing that to the viewers. I'm a little disappointed. I didn't think it would go this way this quickly. Season 2, episode 2. Drawing the lines, I think it's called Lines in the Sand. So yeah, that's what it is. So they are talking about it. Latoria's bringing up again that some of the people heard Labrina referred to her as precious. She lets us know in the Black community for a long time, that's not been a good word. You can't even say, oh yeah, the baby's precious. That means probably the baby a little bit ugly or not appealing to the eyes. I'll say that. And Latoria says, I'm not going to go into your space and talk about your loved ones. She said, chaos began to arise. It was clear everybody wasn't friends. And Latoria says she don't like the division in the group. We don't like it either, Latoria. But I don't know. I don't think Labrina's at a space where she's going to admit she's wrong. She's dug her heels in and she's mad at the people that won't accept. It's not even an apology. Won't accept her version of events, her narrative. So they have another event coming up. Latoria says, I'm excited about it. I don't play about community service. Everybody in this friend group, no matter the status, they've done some dope stuff. And that is true. They're all on each other's level. This is why I don't understand about Labrina, but they're looking forward to this event where they can get together with these beautiful ladies in Houston, just speak life into each other. Ro is saying, I hope that we're in a good space, but I'm not kissing anybody's A. If we walk in and we're not talking to each other, then we can just speak to each other and say whatever we're going to say as far as the speeches and everything like that, and then go home. And I agree with Ro on that. I think that's what is going to have to happen. And then we'll actually see what is going to happen. And let me just see the rest of my notes, everybody. This was a pretty good episode. This was a good episode. And I'm still kind of shocked at the way that it's going. But we see they get to the event. Ro walks in. She has a beautiful black on, one of those cute little leather jackets that stop kind of at your midriff. And Chloe, of course, all these ladies, when they come to an event, they put their stuff on. They are ready. And everybody's so cute. It's just beautiful. So they all show up. And it's kind of a question as to whether or not all the ladies are going to show up. And by all the ladies, we mean, are Labrina and Munira going to be there? Thankfully, yes, they did show up. Because I do feel like it's too early for people in the group to not want to come and that sort of thing. So we see the different ladies come in. Latoria, when she came in, she's got this beautiful floaty brown jumpsuit on. Chloe had a really cute tuxedo-like vest with a white shirt. She had the white shirt hanging down. So they all, of course, those three, when they see each other, they love to see each other, greet each other, hug, compliment each other. And we get Latoria telling us that this is a very serious event. It's important to her. They want to talk to all the other young women and just speak life into the women. Chloe's there. She said she's a little nervous. Everybody might not be able to kind of settle in and focus on the event, but she's hoping that they will. And she said, what about the other girls? Latoria's like, what other girl? Now, Latoria, you know what other girls? Labrina and Munira, are they coming? So we do see them come in. Munira comes in next. She looks really cute in the white tuxedo. I saw her on her IG in that outfit. So she does post a lot of what she does because she is an influencer and a content creator. Labrina comes in. She looks gorgeous. They all come in. They kind of circle the room and they don't get to the table where Latoria and them are until Munira went there first. This is why I really hope and pray Munira can be kind of a force where she brings everybody together. I'm not seeing it yet. She's just right now listening to everything that Labrina is telling her. So Latoria is funny. She says, I listen to Jeezy and then I also talk to Jesus. That's how she prepares. So when Labrina and Munira saw each other, I thought it was funny. She said, why do you look like this? And it's a compliment, of course, like, oh, you're gorgeous. Why do you look like this? And Munira said, why do you look like this? We know Munira can be a little sensitive. to how you compliment her. That's her and Latoria, how they first fell out with the whole cutesy thing last year. So when these two fall out, and I'm speaking of Labrina and Munira, I'm going to find that kind of funny because I don't think they're real friends like that. I think it's an alliance that the two of them don't like Latoria for their own reasons. And Labrina's got to look, to me, she's already negative. We hear her saying, I don't give a damn and all this kind of stuff. Labrina, why are you coming in with this attitude? So Munira is trying to kind of woo-saw, say we're going to focus on the mentorship programs, focus on how all the ladies that are here can do better. Labrina's got a stink face on. So I'm glad that they did show up. But this energy that Labrina brings when she does show up, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it. I love this whole ensemble, and I'm surprised that Labrina is doing that. Episode 2, season 2, and I think I know what it is. I think she thought she was going to be HBIC, and she's not. Excuse me. So when they finally get over to the table with Latoria and them, kind of like a record scratch, they all just looking at each other. And it is awkward. Chloe's saying, well, what's wrong? And Munira says, well, we hadn't talked in a while. Labrina comes over. They said they're excited. Clearly they're doing that for the camera, but that is okay. Just at least get together and talk. We find out during the confessional that Labrina have not talked to them without the cameras rolling since last season after that therapy event. So they ask each other how they're doing. Chloe says, I'm doing good. And Labrina is just, it's kind of strange. I can't stand being around people like her. It's so awkward. So she clearly wants them to either kiss her behind or be afraid of her. And I don't know who's doing all that at this age. Everybody's 40 or near 40. I don't think that the youngest one would be Latoria, probably. I think everybody's like right there. And then Chloe's probably in her 40s. So Labrina comes in, sitting there, and I don't know, they're not going to hash things out tonight. So they were talking to each other a little bit. They're talking to each other a little bit. And then Munira says, well, I guess I'll get started. I love that she did this. She took the mic. She got up there. She starts introducing the ladies, the cause of the event, what they're going to talk about. There's a lot of young ladies there. They're really excited. They're listening to her. So they get a round of applause in the room. Munira was calling for applause for all the ladies that are there. And I thought that was really nice. They're going to showcase entrepreneurship, give the ladies a glimpse into their world. We get to see different vignettes where everybody's on the mic. We get a little short speech. Chloe's talking about networking. And Chloe's telling them how you meet somebody. Dana, meet Kim. Kim, meet Dana. And the ladies actually kind of go over to each other and hug. Chloe's like, there you go. So they all start kind of having a great time. And I thought this was really cute. We get a confession of what Munira said. I live for these spaces where women, especially Black women, get together and they do this. Munira, me too. Don't let Labrina influence you. I love the fact that Munira seems like she's trying to keep it positive. Labrina's energy is just not there. And Labrina is saying that too, but her words don't really match her actions. She's in a confessional saying, we're too grown for all this. I don't like this catty energy. Yet she is the one that calls someone precious. And then later we're going to see her lie about it. She goes up to Chloe. Chloe speaks to her. They want to know. She said, well, what's up with you? She says, well, when I'm in a space where I'm purposely misunderstood, I don't think she's being purposely misunderstood. I think Labrina called someone out of their name. She thought she would get a laugh or thought it was cute. It was just a mean girl moment. And now they can't even come together for an event because she won't admit what she actually did. So Labrina is saying that all the arrows are now being pointed at her. She didn't know that that therapy session was going to be about her. I don't know that it would have been about her. I think once Latoria brought up what was said as far as her not being on their level, and then also the comment about Precious, I'm not sure like the time frame of that. I know the on the level comment came up at Miss Sylvia's therapy session that Latoria put together and paid for, and they all showed up. But then it turns out that now Labrina's saying it was a session against her. I don't think that that's what it was. I don't think that any of them should say anything about levels or being on each other's level. I don't know where any of that came from, but again, here we are. So Chloe and Labrina are sitting there, they're talking. Chloe refuses to be gaslit. She brings it up again. She's in a confessional. She says, I don't think that a person who is wellness and healed would say something like on my level. Labrina's still kind of explaining in a way. She's in another confessional, everybody. She's saying, what I meant was that they're not on the energy level that I'm on. And then she said that Latoria lied. She said she never had a conversation with her. She's had 3 conversations with her. So I think that Labrina's trying to move the goalposts and change what was said. And this has nothing to do with anything. I don't know. I think the only way that they're going to get over this is that Labrina is going to have to admit what she said and just tell the truth about it. So I think that they did have conversations. I don't know what Latoria means by that. If she's saying they never had conversations, maybe she meant they didn't have exclusive conversations about that, or they didn't have conversations where they came to some type consensus or a conclusion. But to say you didn't have any conversations when you have had 3 conversations, I'm unsure who's telling the truth there. Did they have conversations? I don't know. This is what happens when you get all this kind of confusion. So we see Chloe is still talking. Latoria is right behind them, but her back is turned to them. Chloe and Labrina are still talking. Labrina starts to get a little more animated and a little bit louder. Not loud, but it's the voices in the room you can hear. But because of where Latoria is standing right behind them, she can hear snatches of their conversation as well. And she's listening. You can see Latoria's ear turn and she's listening to it. So as they're having a conversation, we hear Labrina saying she's a liar, talking about Latoria. She's saying this to Chloe. She's two-faced. You could agree with it or not. A person gonna lie in my face and say they never had a conversation. And we see Latoria from the back listening intently. Chloe saying, y'all need to figure it out. You need to figure it out. So I was wondering why Latoria didn't go over there. But then later, when I saw that Latoria went straight to production, she's had all year to talk about this, get her story straight, take the mic off me. She basically broke the 4th wall. When I saw how upset she was, I can see why she didn't go over there. She didn't want to make a stir at the event. So Chloe and Labrina are the last one that ends up in that conversation. So we didn't see Ro, we didn't see Munira. I'm kind of glad the other ladies didn't get involved because we know Ro is a defender. I don't know how that would have went. She's defended Latoria before. And then Labrina just lying straight out. Everybody was in that therapy session, so they know what was said. And then the whole Precious comment, that's another bone of contention. That was said directly to Chloe, and we're going to catch Labrina lie about that. And when the footage is rolled, we're going to see that, yeah, indeed, she did say that. So Latoria goes, gets the mic off her, and she left. She left. So Labrina is saying that she's never going to talk to her again. And then we'll see later that Latoria is going to return that energy. So this is a fractured group at this point. Next, we get a scene with Chloe at Chloe's beautiful home. Chloe has amazing taste. She has a wall set up where she's doing a picture wall. She has everything already blocked off, where they're gonna put the pictures on the wall. And we know Chloe is a widow. She lost her husband of 7 years. This is the twins' father. They are so cute. They look like a little version of Chloe. They also look like their dad. They're really beautiful. They got these little top knots in. So they're helping their mom putting the pictures together. And Chloe is saying in her confessional, things have been a lot smoother since she blocked Jordan from her life, but her life's been turned upside down. So she's trying to analyze their relationship. And then she comes to the conclusion that Jordan plays a big part in her life. So Chloe, big fine Jordan, I don't know. I wish she would eradicate this man from her life. All this confusion is not supposed to come in your life just because you have a boyfriend. And that's basically what it is. So she's saying her life, since she blocked him, her life's been turned upside down. This is a trip. We haven't seen Nico this season. So I don't know. Is Nico out of Chloe's life right now because Jordan is in it? She mentioned in the first episode he has a job. So I'm happy to hear that. I want to know if he's still trying to do anything with his rap. So Chloe is saying, I got him blocked on everything. But she FaceTime calls him. She's unblocked him because she spoke to his mother, whom we find out she speaks to his mom every day. And she finds out that he has the flu. So we see big fine Jordan on the other end of the FaceTime call. They're talking a little bit. Chloe lets him know, I unblocked you. You ain't in there yet, but I unblocked you. Chloe, stop lying. He's in there. He's in there. This is a maintenance man at best. And I just hate to be so graphic, but Chloe, that's what it is. Leave this man on the shelf. So he is saying that he has a surprise for her. And Chloe is looking kind of skeptical. He wants to help rebuild the trust between the two of them, is what she's looking skeptical to. I'm looking skeptical too, Chloe. I don't know. He says it's the surprise is something he wants to give her. She's saying, you picking me up for a date? He's like, it's a surprise. So she says, what's another surprise? Surprise, surprise. Confessional, she said, it sounded like Happy Meal. Now, Chloe, if you think that, why are you entertaining this young man? Sounded like Happy Meal. So Chloe lets him know that she was talking to the mom, found out he was sick. He does look like he's kind of sick. Jordan claims he loves her. She said, I know you do. I love you too. That's why you don't do that kind of stuff to people that you love. So that's the end of that scene. They are going to meet up. Ro is in another space. Her new house is gorgeous. She has moved. So she's in the confessional telling us that she planned Taco Tuesday because she wants to decompress. She heard that LaToya kind of left the event in a huff and she didn't get to really see what was going on. So we go into Ro's house. Ro is unpackaging the food that they have. She wants to check in on her because she left also without saying goodbye. And we see that she did leave in a huff. And Ro has heard a few different things about what might have happened. So she wanted to get it from LaToya's mouth. So LaToya comes in. LaToya is the first one in. Of course, they compliment each other as they always do, hug. And LaToya is getting her plate. Ro has the stuff laid out. Chloe comes in next. They hug. And Chloe, as Chloe has been known to do, gets right to it. You missed another event. You left another event, is how she put it. So Chloe's in the confessional. I love that little Asian-inspired midriff suit that she's wearing. So we get her in there. She's saying, I'm finding out that something happened with LaToya before she left. She overheard some stuff. Why did she come over to the table? That's what I was wondering too. So we're back on the scene in Ro's kitchen. And she is saying that, why didn't you come over? Because Labrina had a lot to say about you. And LaToya was like, oh, did she? She had a lot to say about you. And Chloe's like, she be talking about me? Chloe, yes, you know she talks about you. We find out that the dinner that Labrina and Will hosted last year, Labrina was accusing Chloe of all kind of stuff. And the thing about that's dangerous about Labrina, the stuff she accuses people of, that could hurt their business. That could hurt their reputation in Houston and beyond. And I find that really low down of Labrina to do that. So LaToya was saying, I heard it. She heard her, overheard her calling her a liar. And she said that they need to unpack a lot of what's going on. And Chloe saying, what was the issue? She called LaToya a liar and also two-faced. And LaToya said, no, Labrina she's the one. She said precious. She said that you call somebody precious. Chloe said, oh, no. She said, I know I didn't say that. I know I didn't say it. Roll back the tape. Production rolls back the tape. It was at the dinner. Chloe was sitting there eating. Labrina was right next to her. She's one of those people at a function that she likes to talk through it, or I don't know, her attention wasn't being held by whatever was going on as far as giving away of the awards. And she ended up saying, she's precious. She has a sweet energy. She has a precious energy. Precious is precious. So when Chloe said, roll the tape back, baby, I was glad that they did that because I'm going to stop saying what I can't believe about Labrina. I was surprised to see Labrina lie on Chloe. Labrina, this is all being filmed. To lie on Chloe. And I don't even see Chloe as being that type of woman. I could hear Labrina making a slick comment like that, even though we saw it. So now we know she did it. Even if I hadn't saw it, I would believe it were Labrina over Chloe. And in fact, it was Labrina. So she did say that. Yeah, she's beautiful. She's sweet. She got good energy. Precious got good energy. And Chloe was sitting there eating. She didn't laugh. She didn't smile. She didn't agree. And I'm glad she didn't. And in the confessional, Chloe doubled down. I know I didn't say it. And so now we catch Labrina in another lie. And we've seen her set other people up to lie. That's what I think she did with Josh. I think she brought Josh over there as Will's friend, even though those two to me have nothing in common, have not seen each other. And she did most of the talking in the meeting between the two friends. When men want to talk about men stuff, the woman's not sitting there running her mouth and running the conversation. And that's what it looked like at their house. So Chloe says she's feeling ganged up on. And Latoya says, how does she feel ganged up on? She don't think we feel ganged up on. Was she saying that we're not on her level? Chloe's saying, well, she tried to explain it. What she said was she meant we're not on her level of peace. And then she's wondering why they won't give her grace. I think what she means is give her the benefit of the doubt, that that's not my intentions. That's not what I meant. So Latoya is saying, when is she giving us grace? She asked Chloe. When has Labrina given you grace, Chloe? Asked Ro. When has Labrina given you grace, Ro? I have to agree with Latoya on this. And Latoya says, well, I'll wait. Chloe said, she's saying that she's never going to talk to you again. Latoya said, I'm never going to talk to her again. Now, y'all, we are second season, second episode. Ladies, how are you at a space where you're never going to talk to each other again? Because I don't know how the filming, I don't know how any of this is going to go. The events where they get together are so awkward. I'm not loving it. I don't know what's going to happen. So Ro is saying, okay, this is getting worse by the minute. We get a confessional with Ro. Ro's doing the mind blown thing. She's like, I'm tired of this. It's getting worse. At the end of the day, this is a group. We're a friend group, sisterhood. I'm not sure if she said sisterhood, but that's what they usually like to say in these groups. Where is the end game for all of this? Can we move forward? So now we're back in Ro's kitchen, and she's like, how do we think this group dynamic is going to work? If Labrina's not going to admit to anything that she said, why are we even talking about it for? And I have to agree with Ro on that. I agree with Ro on that. Chloe's saying, how do we think this group dynamic is going to work? And Ro says, none of us need to bow down to nobody. She can feel how she feels, but until Labrina takes accountability, what are we even talking about it for? True, this is true. The next scene, we finally show up to Big Fine Jordan's surprise. We show up to his surprise. It looked like an Airbnb. The place was empty with the exception of he had set up, or production, somebody had helped him set up what looked like a picnic dinner, but inside the house. So he is there. Jordan has on a short set and has on some slides. He's dressed for like a picnic or a barbecue. Chloe shows up in one of her floor lengths sundresses, is really pretty strappy. And she could be going to a dinner at a nice restaurant. Chloe could be going anywhere. They don't look equally yoked. I feel like I know what is keeping Chloe and Big Fine Jordan together, but Chloe's trying to make it something else. I don't think it's that. I think he's a maintenance man, and that's what I see Jordan as. And when he starts to speak, you can't really hear any more from him than until he starts getting mad. Then he gets a little animated, and I don't like that energy on him either. You too big to be talking crazy to people, Big Fine Jordan. So Chloe shows up, what looks like an Uber Black, and he set up the picnic. Chloe is excited because it's not a Happy Meal. So she comes in, you did all this? And then she said, what are you trying to do? Who are you trying to impress? She's kind of being funny and cute. Like, who are you trying to impress? He's like, what do you mean who I'm trying to impress? Who do you see here? You and me the only one here. So he's already on my nerves. I don't like this for Chloe at all. He's 28. He might be 29 now, but the way he's dealing, to me, he's acting like he's college age or younger. Very young. And with Chloe being up in her 40s and had grown woman situation, she's an entrepreneur. She's already a widow. She lost her husband. She has an adult son a few years apart from Jordan. She has 2 twin daughters. She's going to have to navigate through grief and growing up without their dad and losing memories of him. This young man is waiting for her to help build him. And he said it. So I don't understand what it is she thinks she's going to get out of him. So the two of them start talking a little bit about their relationship. We find out Chloe talks to the mom every day. He said he didn't want to hurt her. And he understands that she has opened up her heart to someone. She lost her husband and she doesn't want to be hurt again after opening her heart to someone. I think Big Fine Jordan does understand that. I think he does. But I think he's just at a place in his life where he's not where Chloe is in her life. May be the right people, but definitely they're at different stages in their life. Right people, wrong time. I'll say that. So Chloe's saying, how do I know it's not going to happen again? How do I know you're not going to feel tempted to talk to another woman? Chloe, he's not only going to feel tempted to talk to another woman, he is going to act on it as well. In my opinion. So he and Chloe are trying to kind of work this out a little bit. Chloe was saying everybody was stressed. Your mama was stressed. Your sister was stressed. This kind of aggravates Jordan. Jordan says, you talk too much. She said, to your mama? He said, in general, I don't tell my mama everything. And you shouldn't talk to her and tell her everything either. Chloe's like, I talk to her every day. I talk to your mama every day. Your mama's like my mama. Chloe, let's not get out of control. Okay. This man is 3 years older than your son. So his mom, I think Big Fine Jordan would have a Big Fine mama, and she's probably your contemporary. You are peers. She's your age. Talking to this woman every day, not that she's a mother figure. She's probably trying to be a friend to you. And meanwhile, get her son off her couch and onto yours. So hence why he's looking forward to getting this ring and getting you to marry him. That's what I see. So he don't want her talking to the mom. And she's like, I got to have somebody I can talk to too. I got to have friends I can express myself to too. So now they're kind of arguing. And he's like, okay, I'm tired of this. I'm done with this. I'm not going to go in circles about a conversation. Again, when Jordan gets animated, he gets animated and he's doing all this stuff. And Chloe's looking shocked. I know production is shocked too. Luckily, they're sitting all the way flat on the floor because I don't like upset Jordan. His energy is too much for me. I don't like all that. So they're sitting there. They're kind of going back and forth. Chloe's trying to soothe him. She's touching him on his knee. Jordan's getting more and more upset. She said, he doing all this. He don't want me to have people to freaking talk to. He's like, okay, what we solving right now talking like this? He's doing his hand gestures and everything. He looking straight ahead. She was like, I'm trying to talk to you. He doesn't want to talk to her. He's already checked out. So he gets up like he's getting up. She said, wait a minute. We're not done. We didn't even eat or anything. You're going to leave me here like this? Remember, she came in an Uber. So I imagine he drove. You would expect that they would leave together or he would give her a ride home. Is she staying with him and he's staying with her? I don't know. You got a babysitter for the night, Chloe? I don't know. She didn't think it was going to go like this. So she is looking legitimately puzzled. She says, the first step right here, I want you to calm down. He don't want to hear none of that. He said, we done talking. I'm done talking. So he gets out and put my slides on. This man is so juvenile. He juvenile. He put his slides on. She's like, you going to leave me? He said, I'm not going to sit here and do this. So they end up outside. She's like, just because I talked to his mom? And Chloe, it's not about you talking to his mom. He wants control over Chloe, but he's not really established enough to be able to control an entity like Chloe. She's on a different level than him. She's not better than him, but she's on a different level than him and a different place in her life than him. Labrina, this is an example of being on a different level than somebody. So they're arguing about calling the mom, talking to the mom. Jordan walks out. Chloe kind of running behind him a little bit. Chloe, this man get ready to embarrass you again. He tries to pull her mic off. Jordan, Big Fine Jordan, who gonna pay for this mic if you damage this mic? He tries to pull her mic pack off. I think he got it off, but he ended up walking away, get in his car. We didn't see him actually leave, but we see her standing there by herself. Chloe's on the phone talking to someone again. Chloe, are you talking to the mom again? This is not your mama. I don't know the relationship Chloe has with her mom. I can't remember. I got to look back to last season. But Chloe, this woman is sure enough not your mama. Y'all basically the same age. So this is crazy. That was the end of the episode, everybody. It was another good one. I'm going to have to give it an 8 because it's very slowly but surely giving us the backstory as to why these ladies have fallen out so completely and split down the middle so firmly. And I hope we can work it out, but I don't know because the peacekeepers, the mediators, they don't seem strong enough to be able to keep the peace. I'm talking about Munira with Labrina. Munira is not really giving to me that she will be able to make Labrina own up to what she has said and what she has done. Ro could on her side, but Latoria, I think, was willing to kind of reach out to Labrina and them kind of make up. But what Latoria won't do, she's not the type person that's going to let you lie in her face and gaslight her. She's too smart for that. And I think she has too much integrity for that. And Labrina was thinking, we're walking to this therapy session and she's not going to bring up them not being on my level. She just felt like they wouldn't bring that up. And then she dug her heels in again with the Precious thing, lied about it at first and said, Chloe said it. And then the things she had said about Chloe, I just don't believe. So this is a good episode. I'm going to give it an 8. We'll get another meeting with Miss Sylvia. And we see Ro trying to check, like, hey, if she steps in that she needs to talk, let her talk. So Ro does have the energy to do that. I'm glad to see that. I don't know what's going to happen with this, everybody. We're going to see Latoria and Labrina are going to meet. I'm happy about that. But Labrina's going to step wrong and call Latoria delusional. Again, I think Labrina is a projector. Whatever she is, that's what she's going to call the other person. She accused Latoria of being a liar. Labrina's a liar. We've seen her lie. She blamed something on Chloe, the Precious thing that she actually did. Lied about what she meant by not on my level. You're not on my level as far as I'm at a place of peace. I don't see anything peaceful about her. She comes in jaw tight, ready to rumble. So this is going to be a really good season, if uncomfortable. I hope it shows us how to move out of conflict and how they get back together. But so far, I don't know. But everybody, thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. And click the like button on the way out if you didn't get a chance to click it on the way in. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the YouTube streets. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Bye.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I